The No Nonsense Roundtable, a weekly radio show and podcast where host Dom Genova interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. And now, here's your host, Dom Genova.
Well, my next guest is a fan favorite. I have had Mark here on my show. I think this is like the third or fourth time. And if I'm an expert on the car business, having spent all the time I did in the car business, this fella, Marc-Anthony Arena, is an expert on computers and, more accurately, your computer and what your computer does to you and shouldn't do to you, and the industry and what they're doing to you and they shouldn't do to you, and what you should be afraid of and what you shouldn't be afraid of. He calls himself the computer exorcist, and he has written a book which is really good. How to protect yourself from your computer, or more accurately, your own computer. This is a little thing sitting on your desk that maybe not really be your friend, right?
We buy these things and we think they're ours and we think we own them. But that's not totally true. They are controlled by their factories. So it's spying on you. It's doing things you don't know it's doing. And there are people that are manipulating this from afar on you, right? Shouldn't that be the way to kind of explain this? Yeah, and you as a consumer can be forgiven for not knowing this. But the worst part is the guys we trust to maintain this stuff don't know what's happening. In the land of the blind, one-eyed men are kings, right? The guys we trust, these computer guys, well, they have beards and they type fast. So they must know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times these folks have 1991 era training.
Well, and that's the thing that really impresses me about what you are and what you do, because you're on top of this stuff. There was a book written back in the 70s. It was written by Alvin Toffler. We talked about this the last time you were with me. And it was called Future Shock. And what it said basically is that a doctor is obsolete 3 years after he graduates med school because things change so fast. It's worse than that with the computer systems.
So what if you went to a doctor and he said, "Hey, Dom, do you have bubonic plague or polio?" No? Well, then that's all I was trained on, so you're probably okay. If the computer folks we trust have training on viruses, that kind of stuff hasn't happened in years. If they still think viruses are a problem, it's just like going to a doctor who thinks bubonic plague is still a problem.
So when you are buying a Norton or antivirus and everything like this is pretty much nonsense?
So having an antivirus product, Norton, McAfee, WebRoot, Sophos, Esset, etc., is a beautiful way to slow your computer down by 90% or more. It's a beautiful way to flush $70 down the toilet. So go in your wallet right now, get a 50 and a 20 and put them in the toilet. And it's a beautiful way to make your computer slow down prematurely, so you have to buy one sooner. It can never, ever protect against modern threats created after 2013.
Well, and there's been more people that have been contacting us lately saying, well, we are with your bank or whatever, and click here because you have something in arrears, or here's the receipt for your such and such or whatever. That has been, the increase on that has been really amazing lately, right?
That's one of the 4 new threats, and I talked about this last time I was on your show. There are 4 new threats out there that antivirus products cannot touch. They cannot protect against it, right? So let's say you got a white picket fence in your front yard, and you dutifully maintain it, and you paint it every month, and you do everything you can to make it shiny and new, and then the bad guys come in with helicopters. That is what antivirus software does. It wastes your time. You're sitting there dutifully doing the updates and doing the scans and doing what you think is supposed to work, the stuff that used to work back in 1981, but can't help you now because the bad guys have helicopters.
And it's all based upon greed or fear, right? I mean, the fear thing, I mean, there was some poor young man who one of these guys got a hold of and said, "We see what you're doing online," and the poor fella killed himself because he was so embarrassed about what he had online, and they more than likely didn't have anything on the guy, right?
They don't. And in my forthcoming book, in my next book coming out hopefully early next year, I actually copy and paste that email verbatim in the book to show people that bad guys copy and paste those paragraphs. And it says, we see what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. We see you're this, we see you're that. And it's a verbatim paragraph that they send out to everybody.
Yeah, and you send it to a couple of million people, you're going to get a couple of dozen maybe, and they're going to be the guys that are going to be taken by this. Mm-hmm. The other thing is what you taught me is look where the email came from. If you look at the from, and some of these guys that say they're from Chase Bank or something like that, there's nothing in their email that says Chase Bank at all.
Well, right. It'll be like $CHA$E or something.
Yeah.
And then it'll say Betty Boop at AOL.com.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you really think Chase is going to email you from CindyLouWho@hotmail.com?
So the latest thing that you alluded to the last time we talked was this October surprise. So tell us what this October surprise is.
I love how you put it that way, right? It's all about, and that's my specialty, is putting it in plain English, putting it in familiar terms for people, right? And I love how you use that term because we heard that term with politics over the years, right? So I actually call it the October Doomsday Date. It is an arbitrary date. So all of you are getting pop-ups and emails from Microsoft right now saying that this is October 2025. If you don't throw your computer in the garbage and get a new one, you're going to get viruses. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
So this is from Microsoft, all right? And I hate to say this. This is not a scam. It's from Microsoft, but it's still a filthy cash grab. It's still utterly fake and pointless and arbitrary and rotten. They are trying to get everyone in the world to throw their computer in the garbage. An estimated 400 million computers are at risk of being thrown in the garbage because Microsoft wants to buy themselves more cars.
A planned obsolescence.
You know, Dom, I really want a Dodge Viper. I think it's one of my favorite cars, right? So why don't you throw that computer in the garbage and then buy a new one and then pay me to set it up for you?
Well, well, that's just with Microsoft stuff. So if you have a Mac, that's not a problem. Is that what you're saying?
Right, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the entire industry does this.
That,
It's called the support treadmill scandal, and I'm writing about this in my next book. The entire industry does this. So in this case here with the October Doomsday, again, it's an arbitrary date. It happened back, remember, April 2014. They said Windows XP was going to go out of support, right? And then a couple years ago, Windows 7 was going out of support. And support is a key word that's designed to scare people. Here's what it actually means. It means they don't want to answer phone calls regarding that product anymore. That's it. And they're not going to push out updates regarding that product anymore. Updates are damaging. We talked about this before. I talk about it in every speech I give. Updates don't help you anyways. They can't help you at all. So you're actually better off when they stop throwing updates at your machine. It's clumps of duct tape and Bondo that slow your computer down and can't protect you from anything modern.
Well, one of the things that you said a while back is that they do change for the sake of change. Yes. I mean, and anytime you get an update on your iPhone, you're like, where's my whatever it is? I have no idea what that was. It used to be intuitive. Now I have to learn the whole system all over again. And why did they do it? Because somebody wanted to have some flash or new colors or something like that, right?
They actually don't understand that other people use these products. They just change things and they don't realize that consumers are using them. They rearrange and rearrange it. You know, like my dad loves rearranging the basement all the time. He moves the furniture around and vacuums and stuff, and that's great. But that doesn't affect anyone, right? So computer guys have never heard of something called self-control. So they just rearrange stuff, and then all of a sudden your phone is scrambled eggs, right? Where'd that go? I used to be able to do that. Now I don't know where it went. And inevitably, your phone or your computer is dramatically slower after each update. So I consider these a threat, right? And there's a whole litany of things that updates do to your product, right? They add more ways to spy on you. They slow you down. They confuse. It's a violation of your ownership and privacy. So, and again, that's one of the modern threats, one of the new threats that are out there. So it's a really good thing that they're not going to attack your machine with update attacks anymore. Your machine will remain stable from now on. As soon as I turn off updates on any computer of any age or any phone, the machine remains stable from then on. So people are saying, what do I do? Is my computer going to explode? Is it support? Or is Microsoft going out of business? What do I do? And I tell them, don't do anything. They are trying to dangle fear in front of you. Like you said, it's greed and fear. Don't do anything. The only thing you have to fear is
fear itself.
Right. So they want you to put your computer in the garbage, those poor landfills. Think about the landfills, right?
Yeah.
99% of all the computers in the landfills are perfectly functioning machines that people threw in the garbage because they were told to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They were told that it's going to get viruses if you don't throw it away. So leave your machine alone. It's totally fine. It'll remain stable from now on. It won't slow down. 5 years from now. All right. So what's that? 2030? So 5 years from now, your web browsers will start complaining. Your Firefox and Chrome, or heaven forbid, Edge. Those web browsers will start complaining that they can't get onto certain sites anymore because websites make themselves worse and more bloated every 2 weeks. At that point, then you give me a call, and we will either force the Windows 11 upgrade in there, even though technically they want you to put it in the garbage and buy a new one, right? I can actually bypass the Windows 11 requirements because they're actually totally fake and unfounded, or we can liberate you from the Microsoft circus by putting Mint on your machine instead, so you don't have to deal with the Microsoft chaos anymore.
Well, here's a question for you. The site, the DuckDuckGo, advertises that they don't sell your information and all this other stuff and whatever. Are they really better? Do they really do that? I mean, Google is supposed to be horrendous with taking your stuff and just sharing it. You might as well put your passwords on your front window so people can walk by and take them.
Kind of. So I believe DuckDuckGo is better, and I prefer them. I use them 96% of the time. Or what have you. I certainly prefer them. On occasion, I'll use Google to get a second opinion. That's fine. Okay, and if you notice, anytime Google is in the news for doing something nasty, or anytime they're caught doing something nasty, business doubles over at Duck.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, it was started by a guy my age named Gabriel Weinberg, and he wanted to offer an alternative to people for their searches, and he's doing great, and people are starting to catch on.
So how's he making money then?
So he's by doing normal searches without overstepping bounds.
Okay.
So Google isn't necessary. I mean, Google is sucking your passwords now through the Chrome browser.
Okay.
So you should probably tell it not to, because they want you to depend on them forever. So Google can't overstep their bounds too much. They can't take your passwords and sell them to people, but they'll take all your behavior and sell it. No problem. They have no problem doing that. And so Google gets away with things legally as long as they don't go too far. They won't take your passwords and give them to people, and they won't take your social security number and give it to people. Everything else, all bets are off. So if you want proof, folks, if you want to open your hymnals and sing along, if you want proof, go to your computer right now and go to google.com/history.
Yeah.
At google.com/history, okay? And put it in the top address bar and press enter. Don't take any suggestions. Assuming you're a member of Gmail, it will then betray a list of everything you have ever done on the web since the day you signed up for Gmail.
No. Now, can somebody else get that? I mean, could you go to my Google if you had my email address and go search my history?
Great question. No, I can't. If I'm an advertiser, I could buy that behavior from Google.
But not actually see what you're doing.
But right, I can't. Yeah, so Google's basically, it's like a bad relationship where Google's saying, you know what? You can't talk to Mark. This is my Mark to abuse. You can't abuse him. And they love saying Google respects your privacy. Right? In the South Park voice, we respect your privacy. Yeah. And meanwhile, they're recording everything that you're doing. Remember maybe 10 years ago, they said, all right, look, people are mad that our computers are reading your Gmail messages, right? So they said, we're going to stop doing that. And they patted themselves on the back and they threw a party and they congratulated themselves. We're not going to read your emails anymore. Then the next morning, they implemented this new Google history scandal. And they started recording a list of every website you've ever gone to.
Okay, there are a couple of crazy things I want to ask you, though. Okay, so Hillary Clinton having her own server. Explain that to me.
Yeah, that's hysterical. So I'll do it in a non-political way. That's how I did it in
that's
my
where
book.
we are. It's a no-nonsense roundtable. Go ahead.
So in my book, I explain this in detail and how to protect yourself from your computer. But basically, she decided to create a third-party server that was her own and stuck it in a closet. The problem is she trusted an IT guy with 1991 training, right? And most IT guys out there, again, they have ancient training, right? It's like if I went to a doctor and the doctor tried to do bloodletting and use a screwdriver to screw a hole in my head, right? Yeah. So this IT guy did a couple things. Number one, he used Microsoft Exchange Server, which is an early 90s email server with absolute zero security. All you have to do is go on the Googles and type in Microsoft Exchange breaches or Microsoft Exchange vulnerabilities, and you'll see there's no security. And every day or week or month, thousands new holes are discovered in this Microsoft Exchange. So if you hate security, use Microsoft Exchange for your business email. So he set up this early 90s business email system and plopped it in her closet and thought it was somehow safe. So bad guys immediately broke into it and harvested all of her messages that she thought was safe. Okay. Yeah. Then he went out on the internet on some public forum and said, "Hey everyone, I have a client who needs to destroy some evidence. What do I do?" I mean, at least he could have done a Google search so that only Google would have known that. But so someone suggested this thing called BleachBit, which would destroy the evidence.
Oh my God. You know, the thing is, and I will get political here, a little bit political. So Hunter Biden's laptop. No, nobody could be that stupid. No, that's a false story. And then the New York Post got prohibited from being on Facebook or something like that.
Hysterical.
Because they report this story, and he was that stupid. That's really comical.
Yeah, it is. And Apple is so. I mean, here's how I would say the laptop from hell. Here's how I would say that it was probably true is because when Hunter brought his computer to this computer shop, right? Okay. Back in the old days, we used to drop off computers at a shop and leave them for indefinite amounts of time. Right. That's why I do in-home services. Right. I go to people's homes, so you're never without your machine, right? So that's number one. Yep. But the reason why I believe it's probably true is when the guy opened up the laptop, there were text messages in there, okay? You can't just make that up. Your Apple laptops now suck all the text messages out of your iPhone and display them on the laptop. So if I loan you my laptop for a month, you're able to see everything I'm doing, even my current text messages, as you're borrowing the machine. So and there were a lot of personal text messages flying around the machine, right? And it's certainly possible.
Well, the whole idea of taking your laptop, especially when you were living his lifestyle, and giving it to somebody for a couple of days is, well, you know what? Some people are like that. So what are you going to do? Yeah. And so tell me the things that we should be afraid of. I mean, we have a couple of minutes here. What is, like with your iPhone, what should I be looking for or not looking for? And if the signal isn't that great, is it me or is it the phone, or could somebody hack in the phone? Let me have a little bit of your opinion about that stuff.
So many things. Yeah. Number one, nobody can ever break into a non-Microsoft product. It's just impossible. Okay. It's just by virtue of being non-Microsoft, that means the product is quality and wasn't made by slobs. So,
I love guys that give you their opinion. Don't hold back.
Right? No, and yeah, absolutely, we don't pull punches.
No, don't pull punches. No.
So with the iPhone specifically, with any smartphone really, but with the iPhone, do you want to throw away your phone after 2 years in the garbage, or do you want to use it longer?
Yeah, longer, obviously.
So you go to your phone, go to settings, and then general, and then you can go to updates. And then just turn off the switch for the updates. Yeah. And then your phone will last maybe 7 years instead of 2 years. Ta-da.
Okay. Well, the thing about my phone, I have I don't know, I have an 8 or something like that. I'm looking at this new. It's like, what am I getting with this other than a different color case on the damn thing or something?
Are you a Hollywood cameraman?
No.
So then you don't need it.
Okay.
I still have an iPhone 7 that I keep as a backup phone. It's totally fine. I use it all the time. It's fine. Yeah. Unless you're a Hollywood cameraman, you don't need the latest iPhone. It's utter garbage. So again, if you don't want to spend $1,000 every 2 years on a phone because some guy at the store told you to, then just turn off updates. Your phone will not slow down anymore. It won't slow itself down. You'll be totally fine. And that's really it. Quick thing before I talk about one last thing is if you, heaven forbid, you're using Verizon and you're paying $89 for a phone that you use once a week, $89 a month for the service, right? Assuming you don't travel internationally, you can get something called T-Mobile Secret $15 plan.
Ooh.
So let's say you're a single person, you don't travel internationally, you just want a phone for occasional use, whatever. You can keep your phone besides. Just go to T-Mobile, ask them for Secret $15 a month plan.
Okay, last words. We got a couple of minutes.
Last thing is, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. If a scary guy gives you a scary pop-up on your screen with scary sentences and scary sirens that says, warning, you have viruses, just remember that viruses cannot happen after 2013. And if there's a giant phone number there, it's not real, because big tech hates people and they will never spend time on the phone with you. So if someone's urging you to call with scary sentences, it's fake. All you have to do is don't let someone scare you, and then you will be safe. That's the only way someone's breaking into your computer nowadays. They scare you into letting them in, and then they ruin your life.
Yeah, because I have the radio show, I get a lot of emails where some alleged law firm is going to sue me because I had too many seconds of It's a Beautiful Morning on or whatever.
Right. And that's, again, it's specifically for you. They were targeting you, and they were dangling some scary thing in front of you. And the stakes are high, right? I don't want to lose my show. So same thing with consumers, right? They send you a scary email that says, Norton McAfee Geek Squad renewal, $260. Call this number now to dispute. Right? They welcome you into that dispute phone number.
There you go.
So all of it is fake. Ignore everything. As long as you don't fear anything, you'll be totally fine.
So, Mark, before we go, let's do a little retail here. How do people get in touch with you? And, the whole thing. Go ahead.
TheComputerExorcist.com. That's TheComputerExorcist.com or 789-1856. And I'm willing to speak to clubs or groups of seniors or schools or whatever.
Yeah, you do an excellent job. You engage people. You're fun. You are knowledgeable, and you're becoming a very good friend, and we're going to have you on regularly each month with the update of the month.
Thank you so much, Dom.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. You can find our previous shows at nononsenseroundtable.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.